Hello, my beautiful darlings. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Andres, and if you're hooked on books and stitches, you've come to the right place. Today's video is all about my 24-hour reading challenge. This is my first 24-hour reading challenge at that I've ever done, and I am recording this intro after I've completed the challenge, so I'm very proud of myself for the amount of books that I read and the actual perseverance to finish the challenge. I'm really proud of myself for going through with it and for actually reading for the full 24 hours, which is kind of shocking. And when you put into perspective, you don't really put together how much you actually read within 24 hours in itself. So with that, let's go ahead and get right into this 24-hour reading challenge. Hello vlog, welcome to day 2 of the 24-hour reading challenge. So you caught me in my car because I'm going to Walmart right now because we need a couple things for lunch and dinner, and then I'm also going to go to Aldi just because I prefer their veggies from there, and also the wine there is pretty good, so I'd rather get it there and it's cheap. So I definitely did not give any updates about yesterday just because I started the reading challenge in the afternoon and then I kept going through it at night. But basically, I did start it around 5 p.m. and I was able to get my book club book with my mom completed yesterday. I didn't have much left because I was already 50% of the way, but that book was One Italian Summer by Rebecca Searle, and I did finish it yesterday. And honestly, I cried so many times with this book, and I kind of had that inkling coming into it that I was gonna cry with it because it's about a story of this girl that she lost her mom and she was supposed to go on this Italian trip to Italy with her as like a one last time hurrah because her mom was very sick with cancer. But mom died right before they were gonna go on the trip, and she decided to still go on the trip, to live it up and grief through everything. It was a pretty good idea because she had a great time. She met good people, and all in all, I think the book was written really well. The representation of grief, like the process of grief was represented so well, in my opinion. I think Rebecca Searle really took that topic and took care of it in such a nice and elaborate way in the book. Like, I'm telling you, it really got to me. Like, in my heart, it was hurting me to feel. I really felt her emotions and what she was going through. Grief process is so unique to every single person. Like, no one has the same experience. I have personally never lost anyone myself or have really grieved anyone in a sense like that. I have had extended family that passed away, but I've never really met them or never really had a close relationship with them. So I unfortunately don't have an understanding of how the grieving process would look like for me. But I really felt what Katie was going through. I really sympathized with her. I really understood and had a good grasp as to why she was going through all of those motions and every single thing that she was going and experiencing. Rebecca Searle did such a good job explaining it and helping us understand that the grief process is unique to every single person. No one has the same experience. I think the writing style was really nice. I think that the whole story in itself was a really beautiful story. Also, the imagery was so beautiful because she was describing so many different places in Italy. She did really well explaining the culture and how things are in Italy, how everything is very family oriented. And it's great to see also that she went to different cities. She didn't stay at that one location in the book. She went to different cities as well. And you're able to see that every city in Italy is like kind of different, like the same type of culture style, but every city is so different in its own, which makes me even more excited to go visit Italy. Because if you know from my previous videos, I've mentioned that I'm dying to go to Italy. That's one of my goals, to get there before or by I turn 30, and I'm 27, so I still have time. But definitely, like, this book has gotten me so excited, and to think like, oh my god, it's going to be such a beautiful experience. It's going to be so just I need that. I need to go to Italy and have my one Italian summer. When I finished One Italian Summer, I started Almond by this author. But this book is based about this little boy that he has grown up with some type of disability, but it's in terms of his amygdala is not like fully developed in a sense. So he's not good at processing emotions. Like if someone comes up to him and tells him like, oh hey, like my mom just died, like he wouldn't know how to react to something like that. It's really nice to see a representation of the sorts, because there's so many different types of disabilities and so many different types of people out there that just are so different, and it's really nice to see that type of representation in books. Right now in that book, I'm 25% of the way, just like you saw in the b-roll, and so far so good. It's been a little like all over the place in a sense, just because there's so many different like backstories that we're getting from the little boy and like his mom and his grandma's side and his other friends and other situations that he's been through. But it's not that it's been confusing, it's just I'm trying to see where all of this is tying to. We definitely got to the point where something very traumatic has happened to him, and that's why I stopped last night, because I was exhausted already. It was like 1 a.m. But something very traumatic happened to him that I don't want to say, just in case it is a spoiler. But I want to see how this traumatic event changes him in a way, just because I know that whenever someone goes through something traumatic in their life, it really changes them in a way that's so that makes them evolve and helps them grow in life, basically. So I really want to see how that develops. I'm really interested. It's a pretty short book also, so I should probably get through with this one also within this vlog. And then I'm also reading The Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. That one I'm 50% of the way through, and I'm super super obsessed with this. Like, that is the exact type of epic high fantasy that I've been wanting to read for such a long time, and I'm so happy that I've finally got into it, that I'm really into it, and that I'm enjoying it. It's very Game of Thrones-esque. The world building in this book is crazy. Like, it definitely takes some time to get used to like the writing style and the world itself, but honestly, it has not been difficult to understand or grasp the concepts or follow the multiple POVs since like 10% in. Like, after I got 10% into the book, I was fully in it and I was invested and I was ready, because Samantha Shannon really does so well the world building concept. It's incredible, incredibly written. So yeah, those are the current updates. I am here already at Walmart, just because I do live across the street, so I get here really fast. I'm gonna go in there, get the couple things that I need, and then I also will go ahead and hit up Aldi, and then we'll go back home and keep on going with the challenge. So I'll talk to you soon, vlog. Hello vlog, I'm here for an update. I forgot to mention in my last update that I'm also listening to Atmosphere by TJR on Spotify. I know that in my previous Week in the Life vlog, I mentioned that I started listening to it on that Saturday, but unfortunately my Spotify hours had run out for some reason, and there was 5 more days until it renewed. So I did go ahead and get that restarted today when I went to Walmart, and I was at 22% when I left it off the last time, and now I'm already at 60% because I've been listening. It's 2:45 right now, and I went to Walmart like close to 11 in the morning, so totally makes sense why I'm so ahead already in the game here. I'm really enjoying it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I really love the story, and the sapphic romance aspect is literally one of my favorite things. How Joan and Vanessa are falling in love is so beautiful to me, and how they curated a friendship beforehand, it's just so meaningful. It's very beautiful. Their love story is very beautiful, especially in those times where it was more like not widely accepted as it is nowadays, even though they're trying to take away that right, but whatever. It's really, really nice. At the first half of the book, I want to say it was solely focused on NASA and the actual events of how Joan got to be a part of NASA and become an astronaut, which was really cool. It's very informative. It gives you like the details on the process, so you could tell that TJR did very good research for this book, 1000%. So I'm thoroughly enjoying Atmosphere. I'm not gonna lie, right now it's not feeling like a 5-star read, but it's been very enjoyable. I definitely feel like the audiobook is done very well. The narrator is doing a great job. In terms of time of reading challenge, I am currently at 16 hours and about 13 minutes left. So we have already 8 hours done of the challenge, which I'm kind of shocked that so much time has passed, but it totally makes sense because I already finished One Italian Summer. I'm 25% through Almond, and then now I've read, well, listened to 40%, about 40ish% of Atmosphere. So definitely making a good dent on the TBR. One Italian Summer and Almond are both in my August TBR, and Atmosphere was in my July TBR. But yeah, that's all the updates I have for now. I already have dinner semi done. I'm gonna do a Mediterranean eggplant bowl for dinner. I already have the quinoa done and the eggplant done. Now it's just basically set it all up for dinner. And yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and keep on listening to Atmosphere. I might switch over to Almond just because now I'm outside and I know Seppi is gonna want to play in a little bit. She's right here next to me, but you guys don't see her. So I could have some music playing while we play. And yeah, we'll go from there. I'll definitely update you guys as the time goes. I actually totally forgot to mention at like the way beginning of the video is that I am recording with my phone and also keeping track of the time on my phone. So that's why I'm not able to show you guys, but that's why I've been screen recording the actual time so you guys could see that I'm going through the challenge and how much time is left and things like that. So yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do when you're trying to be a content creator on a budget. Besides that, I will talk to you later, vlog. Hello vlog, I am here with an update. So we are officially just about halfway through the 24-hour challenge. We are at 12 hours and 24 minutes currently, guys. I have finished Almond, and honestly, I really did enjoy this book a lot. So, to give you more context about the book, the main character Yunjae is diagnosed with alexithymia, which is basically emotional blindness. He doesn't know how to feel anything, he doesn't know how to react to certain situations. So, in the traumatic event that I was mentioning earlier, he didn't really react to it. And he just kind of had to move on and move forward. Like, he just kept going because he really did have any emotions towards it. So, comes in Gon, who is the unlikable character. He had mom and dad growing up, but then when he was like around 3 years old, he got taken basically or lost in a fair when he was with his mom. His mom was holding his hand, and then all of a sudden she turned around and he was gone. So he got lost, and then come like basically 10 years later, they find him again, and they find him that he was in a juvenile detention center, and he was like a really bad kid. So when he gets out of the juvie, he gets back reintegrated into society, but he goes back to living with his real dad. And he really never considered him his dad because he got lost so young. He said he has no memories of him, that he, like the way that he grew up probably impacted him in a really severe way for sure mentally. So he was always a bad kid at school, but him, Gon, and Yunjae became friends because Yunjae has no emotions, and Gon was so adamant on trying to get some emotion out of him, which is what blossomed into a friendship. This book is definitely very character focused. It's very focused on the character development of Yunjae and as well as Gong, but it was more focused on Yunjae since he is one of the main characters for sure. and he's the one with that disability in a sense. There was a happily ever after, and your girl is a fan of happily ever afters for sure. I gotta say, I'll definitely give the book a 4 star because it was a really good read. The writing style was very, very clear, concise, and straightforward. It wasn't too much effort to understand. But yeah, I really enjoyed that book. That is 2 books down. I don't know if I should count One Italian Summer as one of the books I completed in this vlog, but it's my channel, so I'm gonna say I'm counting it. So 2 books done already. That's kind of crazy. I think I'm gonna try to get back into The Priory of the Orange Tree just because I haven't read it since Thursday, and it's Saturday. So I'm ready to get back into that. And then I'm also going to look at my August TBR, see if there's any books that call my attention. From what I'm thinking right now, Happy Place, I'm not really in the mood for that. I have another romance called Thank You Next by Andy J. Christopher, but I'm not really sure if I'm in the mood for that either. Even though I'm not going to lie, the last 2 books, like One Italian Summer and Almond, also had like a lot of grief in them. And it was a very, like, One Italian Summer was very heavy. And then Almond, there was like the very first half of the book, I would say, is like very heavy too. I would think maybe a silly little romance would be nice. I might give Thank You Next a try, but we'll see. I'll keep you updated, vlog. And we are back at the end of this vlog. I'm actually like so shocked with how much I read during these last 24 hours. I think I did a pretty big dent on my TBR as well as looking into other books that I really wasn't thinking or considering. So my last update was that I was contemplating between continuing with The Priory of the Orange Tree or with picking up a new book, and that new book was Thank You Next by Andy J. Christopher. I did read a chapter of The Priory, but then I was kind of like, you know what, let me try to like switch gears and like try to read something more like lighthearted and like, brain off, head empty. So I thought that a romance book would be the best in that aspect. So I went ahead and I picked up Thank You Next by Andy J. Christopher, and unfortunately it did not go as planned. So I did get up to the 25% mark of the book, and honestly, the entire time, as soon as I started the book, I just did not feel intrigued or interested. Like, so sorry, vlog. My microphone died. I had to go charge it, so we're back now. But I was saying, with Thank You Next, the whole premise of the book and the actual synopsis in the back, it really got me intrigued to read it, which is why I bought the book. It's basically about this girl that she just found out that her ex, her most recent ex, just got engaged to someone, and she's realized that it's a pattern amongst all her exes that as soon as they break up with her, they get engaged to the next person that they're with. So she's trying to figure out as to why that is. So she wants to go and do like this whole road trip and visit every single one of her exes to ask them as to why that is the occurrence. The characters felt like super flat for me. The plot wasn't really plotting in a sense. Like, if I didn't know the premise of the book beforehand by reading the synopsis, I think just going into the book blind, I would not have really gotten that grasp at all. So, all in all, I really was not enjoying it, so I just said, F it, I'm gonna DNF this because I'm not gonna waste my time trying to read through a book that I'm clearly not into or interested in at all. So that was last night, and it was already like almost 2 a.m. when I decided to DNF the book. So I was like, you know what? It's time to go to sleep. I've been up all day, like I've done a lot. So let's just go to sleep, and tomorrow's a new day. And I had left the clock at 7 hours flat. I woke up this morning, and as soon as I woke up, I started running the clock because I wanted to keep reading Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This book, oh my goodness gracious, like I don't even know where to start. So I'd been listening to this book through audio, like on Spotify, and I was at the 60% mark where I left it off yesterday. So I listened to the last 40% today, and the way that I was crying, bawling tears, as you saw in the B roll, like I was literally crying so much because of the impact that this story really drives. It's so strong. Me being a part of the LGBTQIA plus community myself, I just could resonate with a story like that so well. I know that I never experienced something of that nature in my own lifetime, even though nowadays it's kind of scary since they're trying to overturn the legal right for LGBTQIA plus community members to marry in the United States. That's why I feel like I resonated so strongly with the story, honestly, because I am in fear myself of going through something that they experience themselves. Before I start crying here again, Atmosphere really blew my mind away, and this was my first TJR book ever. I know that I've been recommended Seven Husbands a bunch of times. I've been recommended Carrie Soda's Bag, Daisy Jones and the Six, all of them, and I never really like caved until this one came out, because this one intrigued me the most because it was relating to NASA astronauts and like the first women going to space. And I myself, when I was growing up, I loved all of that, and I always wanted to be an astronaut when I was growing up. So that's what really helped me decide, you know what, let this be the first TJR book that I read. And I have no regrets on that. I definitely give Atmosphere a solid 4.5. The only thing that I didn't really like about the book was Barbara, because she was like the worst sister ever, the worst mother ever. Like, I just did not like her, and she really ruined such a big part of the book for me because she was involved so heavily in the book because of her little girl Frances. But yeah, besides that, Atmosphere was a solid 4.5, and I'm definitely going to be recommending this book to so many people moving forward. So then when I finished Atmosphere around 12 p.m. today. Today's Sunday, by the way. And then after I finished, I was like, you know what? Let's do a little R&R. Like, I really need some like rest and relaxation and take my day easy. Today's Sunday, tomorrow's Monday, back to the work week. So I like to just rest, relax, recover, and get ready for the week. I decided to do a little bit of a bubble bath, as you guys saw. I had my little wine going, I had my book going, and the book that I decided to start was The Nemesis Pact by Ashley Lynn East. This book was very kindly sent to me as an e-arc by the actual author, so thank you so much, Ashley, for sending me the book as an e-arc. I'm currently 16% of the way through, just because I was reading very slowly. I was taking my time with it. I was really like savoring like the characters and the writing style. So how the book starts, Abby is in this bar with some of her coworkers, and then her ex from like 5 years ago that left her at the altar right before they were gonna get married shows up out of nowhere with a Victoria's Secret model by his side as his new girlfriend, soon to be wife. So what does Abby do? The first person that comes up next to her, she grabs them and she's like, "Oh yeah, this is my boyfriend," without her realizing that this new boyfriend that she's titling to her ex is her boss, Jonathan. The story just progresses in trying to like learn some more background on Abby and on Jonathan, like who they are and where they come from, which is really nice. I like that about this book so far, because not a lot of romance books do that right away. It kind of gives you the story or the background of the person throughout the entire story, but I kind of like getting the lore of the people I'm talking about and trying to learn from the beginning. The one little critique that I might have is just the fact that there's modern language used throughout the book, and I totally get it. Like, I don't mind it, especially in a contemporary romance book. I really don't mind that. But sometimes when I read those modernized terms that we use every day, like, oh, TikTokers or things like that, it kind of pulls me out of the story a little bit. But I'm still fully invested in the whole story. I really am looking forward to see how it develops, just because Jonathan is going out of his way to continue pretending to be Abby's boyfriend just to go ahead and give Marcus, which is Abby's ex, a slap in the face. So I'm honestly eating this up. I think it was exactly what I needed after reading such heavy books like One Italian Summer and Almond and Atmosphere at that, because Atmosphere had me crying my eyes out. So this was the perfect pick for me, and reading in the bathtub with my wine and my little eucalyptus rain candle was the best idea ever. And then when I got out of the shower, I had about, I think it was like 2 hours left, I think, or maybe an hour and a half or something like that left. So I was like, you know what, let's just slap in an audiobook for this last hour and a half and do some things I need to do here in the house. So I decided to pop in My Next Breath by Jeremy Renner, which is his memoir based on the accident that he had back in 2023. Right now, I'm currently already almost 30% of the way. I think it's 28%. I also listen to my audiobooks at 1.5, so they are a little faster than expected. So if the total time says 7 hours, it's really like 6.5 or 6 hours for me. But so far, so good. I loved Jeremy Renner from the jump, especially because of Marvel, him being Hawkeye in all the Marvel movies like the Avengers. He had his own show as Hawkeye and everything. So I really knew him as an actor from Marvel specifically, but I know that he's also in Mayor of Kingstown and something else that I'm forgetting right now. The story is developing really well. He started from the very beginning, like before the accident, like before they even went to their house out in Lake Tahoe for the holidays. He talked about like all the obstacles that they ran into before even getting there. They ran into multiple obstacles, which is basically like God giving you signals like, hey, don't go there, don't do this, something bad is gonna happen. But of course, you don't see those things and you don't acknowledge those things because you're just trying to get there. It's like a vacation that you're taking. You're going to see family that you haven't seen in a long time, and everyone's going to be together. So that's one thing that really was a driving factor for Jeremy to forget all the obstacles and just keep going to get to Lake Tahoe to be with his family and spend the holidays with them. And now I already am beyond the part that he went through the accident. The whole story of him getting into the accident is really scary and it's so mind-boggling to think because it happened in like a blink of an eye, like from 1 second to the next this accident was happening. So yeah, with that one I am about almost 30% of the way through, and that is the book that I ended the 24-hour reading challenge with. So in total with this, I read One Italian Summer. I read 50% of it on the vlog, so it doesn't fully count, but it's like a half point, so a half book. I read Almond, so that makes it 1.5. I read Atmosphere by TJR, so that makes it 2.5. And then I started The Nemesis Pact by Ashley Lynn East, and I'm about 16% of the way. And I also started My Next Breath by Jeremy Renner, a memoir, and I'm almost 30% of the way. So technically, I read 3 books if you think about it. If we mix them all together and stuff like that. So within 24 hours, I could actually read 3 books, which I think to me is impressive because I usually like pump out a book a week at most. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for sticking around with my 24-hour reading challenge. I'm really proud of myself, so I'm going to give myself a pat on the back for that, for reading almost 3 books in 24 hours. If you like this video, make sure to give me a like and subscribe to my channel. And make sure to hit the notification bell just so you're notified every single time that I post a new video. Let me know in the comments what you thought about this 24-hour reading challenge, and if you've read any of the books that I read during the 24-hour reading challenge, just let me know in the comments what you thought about it, or if you have it on your TBR, I would love to know so we can discuss it in the future. But yeah, my beautiful darlings, with that, let's get hooked.